Damn it. What do you want?
I have to go.
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? God damn it. What do you want?
I have to go.
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? God damn it. What do you want?
I have to go.
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do
Hello everyone, welcome to this stream. It's been a while since we've done one of these. Let me just put a little bit more light here. Just notice now that I didn't pump up the lights a little bit more. Just give me just a second. So hope you're all enjoying a good afternoon. It's very warm in the UK. It's super warm. So I do apologize if you can hear the fans going, but it's like super warm right now.
A little bit more to the right.
Thank you so much. We already start with a subscription. Cool.
A little bit more to the right.
Thank you so much, Kaiser7, for the resubscription 5 months. We much
Yes, a little bit more to
appreciate
the
it.
right.
So yeah, welcome
Just a little bit
everyone.
more to the
I need
Just a
to
bit
first
more to the
start
right.
with apologies for the delays on the last 3 weeks. As you probably all know, I was in the United States. I was supervising a film shoot in San Diego in California. So I couldn't really do streams, and fortunately my hotel connection was super slow. So, you know, as usual, hotels are really crappy in terms of internet. I tried my best to do a stream from there, but it really became impossible. So I really apologize for that. But I'm back in London now. I'm back in my studio. I'm back on Hugo's desk. And I can't wait to start these streams. So we're going to go back to our regular schedule, as you guys know. We always do Mondays where we play some games and we do some Q&A, some visual effects. We talk about visual effects, we talk about showreels. And then on Thursdays, we'll continue our Nuke compositing workshop. Currently, we're doing the Nuke compositing workshop with the BBC, God only knows. Can see a lot of friendly faces on the chat. Thank you so much for returning. I can also see some new faces as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shi Jinping for the subscription. Much appreciated. 5 months now subscribed. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate all your support. Yeah. And I always start this stream by just thanking the people that supported my stream while I was away, while I wasn't online. So obviously I want to thank Dash for the $1 Patreon donation. I would like to thank Aaron Bradford for the $5 donation on Patreon. I would like to thank Leonardo Bartz for the $100 on Patreon. Would love to thank Marcus Dryden for the $1 in Patreon. Jan Hompal for the $25 in Patreon, Brian Willard for the $20 on Patreon, John Luca for the $5 on Patreon, Hugh Bew, I hope that's the pronunciation, $1 on Patreon, Razvan for the $1 on Patreon, Fabio Malfa for $1 on Patreon, and then I would like to thank Hugh Bew VFX for the follow, Cal Cahez for the follow, Eternity for the follow. I would like to thank Tov FX Man for the subscription tier 1. Much appreciated for the subscription. I would like to thank Cinetist for the follow. Like to thank Marvin Wang 810 for the follow. Also would like to thank Heltson Segler for the follow. Udini Yadini, Yadini, I like that. Udini Yadini for the follow as well. Wilm Rigazio for the follow. Giuges for the follow. And obviously Log Tulini for the subscription tier 1. Thank you so much for that. S. Jovis for the follow. Linuna de Lanenio for the subscription tier 1. Marvin Wang 810 for the subscription tier 1. Mark Bitran for the subscription tier 1. I'm gonna have a problem trying to pronounce this name. Thank you so much to Sezenzuniu for the subscription tier 1. Thank you so much for Jian. Supporting the channel. Not go unnoticed. Anyway, some people on the chat here, Defiant Film TV is asking me, how was my trip to US? Well, my trip to US was wonderful. It was very hard work, of course. I was on set for 3 weeks. I was there together with Bjorn, which is one of my compositors from my team. Basically, I was shooting on the green screen stage at Sony PlayStation San Diego. So San Diego has, in San Diego, there is a PlayStation studio. There's also a PlayStation, there's a lot of Sony headquarters there. There's both a Sony Electronics headquarters and also a Sony PlayStation headquarters. And I visit their studios and we filmed there on the green screen stage. It was really wonderful to work with such talented people over there. We were there for 3 weeks. Basically, we were prepping and filming tests for an upcoming shoot. So I'm going to return to the US to shoot this final project again, most likely in October or November. I'll be away this time for 6 weeks. But this time I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to bring some kind of 4G modem so that I can still stream over there as well. So the trip was wonderful, obviously, as much as it can be. You know, it's a 12-hour flight. 12-hour flights are never that relaxing. They're never that nice. You know, basically, I'm pretty much jet lagged at the moment. I flew in on Friday evening. So I'm still jet lagged. It's going to take a few days, I think, for me to be completely perfect yet, I think. But yeah, so before we start, I just wanted to give you a couple of news for you guys. So let's just jump into my desktop here so I can show you a couple of things. As always, don't forget that I have published some new videos. So if you guys want to watch some new YouTube videos on my channel, there's a couple of new things to watch. So first of all, you have the BenQ PD3320 review. So this is a review for a monitor that I've been working on for the past like 3 weeks or so. 3 months or so. So I've been using this monitor for about 3 months. I have a lot to say. You should kind of read my review. Please keep in mind that on my review, I mentioned that you need to have a Quadro card. You know, you have to have a Quadro card or Radeon Pro for you to be able to have 10-bit. Please don't forget that this is not the case anymore. Currently, NVIDIA just announced, just the week after. It was so upsetting because I published this video, and then the week after, NVIDIA announced the full support of 10-bit on their normal GTX cards. So when you watch this review, if you want to watch this review, if you're interested on a 10-bit monitor, please keep in mind that I thought that until last week, it was impossible for you to have 10-bit display without having a Quadro or Radeon Pro. Now, currently, NVIDIA has changed that. So if you go, I'm going to send you a link for that. So basically, NVIDIA announced on SIGGRAPH. They've announced that now there's full support for 10-bit on any Titan GTX or even you know, any card that can support the latest drivers will have support for 10-bit. This is wonderful news for the creative industry. You know, this means that now you don't need to have a Quadro card to have 10-bit. You can have any card whatsoever. You can use a Titan. You can use an RTX. This is really, really good, good information. And yes, that's true, Log2Lini. You still need a deck link to output 10-bit for the video out. So that's a different thing. Like, I'm talking about the desktop. I'm not talking about the video output of Nuke or DaVinci. So that you still require a deck link to have 10-bit. But if you just want to have your desktop with 10-bit in Nuke, if you want to have 10-bit on DaVinci or 10-bit on any professional application like After Effects, Premiere, or Photoshop, before, back in the day, until last week, you had to use a Quadro or Radeon Pro. That was one of the features of a Radeon or a Quadro card. This update means that new drivers will be updated. Now, I don't know if this driver is out yet. This is just an updated driver, so you just need to install the latest drivers. I'm not entirely sure if the driver is already out. It probably is. I'm assuming they've just announced it, and they're going to release it right away. So this is excellent news for the industry, I think, in general, because this means we can use consumer cards. Now, obviously, this news was really strange, because now, what the hell is NVIDIA going to do with the Quadro cards? Because what was the point of having what's the point of having a Quadro card now? I'm really not sure. I do know the Quadro cards have ECC RAM, so they have more stable RAM. So, for example, if you're doing a lot of simulations in Houdini, or if you're doing very large 3D renders, it's a lot better to have a Quadro. And it's more stable because it has, tested drivers, and it has more support from professional support of NVIDIA. But what's the real point of having a Quadro? Because the biggest good thing about the Quadro was the 10-bit support. I mean, I understand if you want stability for Houdini or for GPU rendering, it's better to have a Quadro and even to have more support. But taking into account that the normal NVIDIA card is half the price of a Quadro, I can't really seem to think, why would you get a Quadro now? So I'm really wondering what they're going to do. I'm wondering if NVIDIA are going to release some kind of new update for the Quadro that does even more. Maybe it has new supports for new things that we don't even know. So I'm kind of guessing here. But yeah, going back, I know I'm now talking too much, but going back to this, if you guys want to check out my review is a full review. You also have all the timestamps here. So basically, I go through the 4K of the monitor. I go through the HDR10. I go through the how to use it as a reference monitor. I go through picture-in-picture, key VM. There's all the topics here separated, so you can basically watch this review, only the parts that you really need to watch it. I don't think they will kill, Loctolini, I don't think they will kill the Quadro. I think the Quadro is still necessary for very advanced rendering. If you really want to have stable rendering with stable RAM, you still need the Quadro. And I'll be honest, I still would use a Quadro. I still have a Quadro, and I'm not going to really change because I prefer to have the professional support, and I prefer to have more stable drivers. But yeah, I think it's puzzling what they've done. Anyway, if you guys want to watch my review, I published the link on the post there. If you guys want to read it. So other videos that I have also published, I have now released the first streams that we've made. So this is the stream. So as you guys know, I've voted. I made a vote in Patreon asking if people would like to have the streams live for everyone. Everyone voted. Like it was like 75% people voted that they should be available for everyone. So now this is basically the replay of the streams that are available on YouTube, and they are free for everyone to watch. Obviously, just like I mentioned to you before, this is basically 5 months after, pretty much 4 to 5 months after it was broadcasted. So this stream was originally broadcasted in the 14th of March. As I said to you before, unfortunately Twitch deletes my streams 60 days after they were made. So obviously they delete them, then I make them available to my Patreons, and then 3 months later, after they're available to my Patreons, as my patrons voted, I'm now releasing them to the world. So now everyone can watch them. As you can see, this was the first stream, which was the 14th of March. And I've also put some timestamps if you guys want to watch some parts. So if you guys didn't have the opportunity to watch some of these streams, they will eventually all go to YouTube, but only 5 months after they've been broadcasted. So if you want to watch them live, you can watch them for free. But then if you want to watch them again, you have to watch them on Twitch if you're a subscriber to Twitch. Obviously, it goes without saying that I still need your support from Twitch to be able to do the streams. So don't forget that if you have Amazon Prime, you can support my channel for free. So please keep in mind supporting my channel for free. You currently have part 1 and part 2. Now, keep in mind, I had to remove a couple of things from these streams because, unfortunately, YouTube was removing the monetization because of some songs. So you probably want to keep in mind that these are not the full raw things. But I had some people complaining about these videos because one of them is 3 hours and a half, the other one is 4 hours long. Some people were complaining because they were too long. They wanted me to do editing on them. So obviously I'm not going to do that because all my subscribers and all my supporters love to hear their names on the streams. So obviously I'm not going to remove that because people like to hear their name. They like to have the shout out. And I really think that I should keep the entire stream because sometimes we're talking about other things, you know. Sometimes we start talking about other aspects of visual effects. Sometimes we talk about other parts of Nuke. So I think it's important to keep everything, and I hope you guys agree with me. A lot of people were a bit upset about this, but I think, you know, I think it's gonna go away. Anyway, let's go back to the questions here. I'll go back to my things here. I'm gonna switch back to Silent Hill here. I'm just going to like hit the start button because this is really loud. I have a couple of questions here. Don't forget that this is what this is. This is basically a session, like a Q&A, so you can feel free to ask me any questions. The questions can be anything related to visual effects. It can be related to showreels. If you want to have my opinion about something, feel free to ask me, you know. So I have a couple of questions here. Let's see. Real Pixel Phil says, did you spot more news from SIGGRAPH? Well, I didn't go to SIGGRAPH, but I was very impressed by the announcement from Side Effects. So the new software that Side Effects announced, I can't remember the name now. It's not Houdini, it's another software. That looks amazing, so I can't wait to try that. There's also like, I think, as you probably all saw, the real-time Unreal filming as well was really nice. I'll find the link and I'll post it in a second, so I'll show you in a second. Studio 10 is asking me, how can I send you a VFX shot for opinion? Well, you can send me, you know, through the, if you want to have an opinion publicly on Twitch, you can just publish it on the chat, you know, and I can have a look now. If you don't want it to be public, you might want to consider sending me a message on Patreon. So if you're a subscriber on Patreon, you can just send me a message. But if you don't mind it to be public, you can publish it here. We're all friends here, you know, everyone on this stream is very friendly, so I think it will be fine. Yeah, so double precision on me, double precision is only on Quadro, yes, and also the memory ECC registration is also on Quadro. So I think the Quadro cards are still going to be more stable for long-term simulations like Houdini, and also for long renders like that take all night. They will still be much more suitable. And yes, that's right, Side Effects Solaris, that's the software. It looks really awesome. I can see Nick Lambert is on the chat. Thank you so much for being here, Nick. Really appreciate your support. Everyone shout out to Nick. Nick is a wonderful friend of Hugo's Desk and a buddy of mine, so thank you so much for being here. Now, I'm going to just jump into Silent Hill here. Now, please remember that I don't really remember where I was because it's been now weeks since we've played. So I really don't remember. Now, I think the sound is off. I can't hear it. I know you guys can hear it, but I cannot hear my sound. Yeah, there you go. So I think now I can, yeah, now you guys can hear it. So I don't really remember where I was, so I think I need to look at the map and just have a look. Okay, so we are in Annie's bar, and I can't really remember what we were doing. I'm sure we'll find a way. So there's another question here, a question from Lopolo. Top 5 must-have gizmos working in all versions of Nuke. Oh, wow, that's a tough question, man. I think, I don't know, my favorite gizmos is the color edge and the edge extension, for sure. Also, I think other gizmos that I really love. The additive keyer is a favorite of mine as well. I don't know. Also, the PMAT, which is a gizmo that allows you to select position passes to select masks in CG. So I think those are probably my favorites. Especially, yeah, I would say edge extension, color edge, PMAT, additive keyer. Those are probably my favorite gizmos, I would say. So yeah. No need to thank me, Nick. I have to thank you. You've been so supportive of my channel from the beginning and so supportive of everything that I do. So thank you so much for that, really. Now, guys, you probably have to help me here. I really don't remember where I was, but I'm sure we'll be fine. I just need to kind of like... we are almost done on the game. We're on the 2 last chapters. So there's only 2 chapters left. So there's not much left to go, you know? So I'm sure we can finish this game in the next 2 or 3 streams. Obviously, if we don't have a lot of questions, obviously. Now, keep the questions coming. Don't forget, this is why I'm here. I'm here because... a little bit more to the left. A little bit more to the right. A little bit more to the left. So thank you so much, Tech Is, for the subscription Prime. Much appreciated. Also, thank you so much to Nick Lambert for the resubscription Prime for 2 months. Thank you so much for this, Nick. You're such a big supporter. I can't thank you enough. And yeah, like you say on the resubscription message, you say, still got a Quadro here. That's true. I still use a Quadro. I still prefer to have the stability of a Quadro. For me, especially the fact that the drivers are tested and we have full support from NVIDIA, that's a very important thing for me. I don't really use gaming cards because of that. I understand that you can think that gaming cards are really cheap and everyone should just use gaming cards, but keep in mind that having stability and having support from the manufacturer sometimes is more important than having a fast or cheap card. It's not about the price, you know, it's about stability and about having the card working when it counts, you know. When you really need it, that's when you want the stability to be there, you know. So keep in mind that. Okay, so like I said, I don't really remember exactly where to go, but I'm sure if I go to my, let's see here. So what else do I have? I have a note here. So this is a receipt. Let's see here. So it says 0473. I think I've used this already. So it was a code for the general store. Then I have a key. The key says, let's see here. Look. The key has a number 3. A 3 is written on the tag. The key has thought to have been dropped by Kaufman. Okay, so I'm sure this key needs to be done. I also have a VHS tape, which I'm pretty sure I need to watch. I still have this thing, which I don't know what it is at the moment. And that's pretty much it, really. So I guess I need to find where to go with this key. And I also need to find what to do with this code if I haven't done it yet. So I have a question here from Kaiser7. Do you think that compositors need a class of photography or filmmaking? I don't think compositors need a class on filmmaking. I do think that compositors need classes on photography, for sure. It's so important for a compositor to know photography. Why do I say this? Because photography is intricately linked to your work. You know, as a compositor, you have to know what lenses were used on the film. You have to match lenses. You have to match grain. You have to keep track of color correction, which means you have to keep track of exposure. You have to keep track of the light intensity of objects. You have to keep track of temperature of objects. So it's all to do with photography, you know. Being a photographer has made me a much better compositor, I can tell you that. Ever since I learned photography, ever since I took a lot of photos, I became a much bigger compositor. And also, it's not just knowing the technical side of photography, like shutters and f-stops and lenses. It's also composition-wise. The better you're a photographer, the better your compositions are, the better your aesthetics are. It's just better to know photography. It should be mandatory on any type of class in visual effects. I really think it should, but I know that a lot of people don't do that, and it's a shame. So if you have the opportunity, maybe do an online course in photography, or if you have the opportunity to do a workshop it is very useful, I think. So, thank you so much, Lee W, for the Twitch Prime subscription. Oh, I think we have a cutscene. Looks like we're gonna have a cutscene. I love these cutscenes. They're also always so terrible.
What's this?
What's this?
Oh.
Oh, it's a earthquake. Well, I was in San Diego. I didn't have any earthquakes. I was there for 3 weeks. No earthquakes. So yeah, thank you so much, Lee W, for the Twitch subscription. Much appreciated. I don't see your alert here though, which is a bit strange. Why is that? Okay. No doubt something terrible is going on. I am absolutely certain. This is Silent Hill. Something terrible is going on all the time. So, okay, so I guess we are back into the rusty area. I'm just gonna keep going forward. I really don't know. Guys, don't forget to bring up the questions. Don't forget, this is what this is, a Q&A. So, any questions about visual effects, any questions about anything at all, or about showreels, or if you need some advice, just keep going. You know. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the kind words. Tech Whiz. Thank you so much for the kind words. Much appreciated for your kind words. I'm so glad that you've learned things on my videos. Not a problem. I'm here to help. The place looked great in the terrace of Sony. Yeah, I did. Like the terrace is amazing. Like I think I have some photos. I can wait. Oops. Whoa. I'll show you some photos in a second. I'll show you some 360s. I think that would be nice to show you guys the terrace. I think. Okay. So Studio 10. You're sending me a shot. Does this mean that you don't mind sharing this shot with everyone? Is that okay with you? Do you mind that I put it up on the screen? Let me know if you are happy with that. Because if you are, I can then publish it on the screen and we can watch it together. So I'm assuming I have to go to some of these shops here. So I have a garage. I have... Let's see if the garages have... If I can use the key on the garage or something. Let's see here. So can I go in here? I guess not. So this is closed, this garage. Nothing here. So there's a door here as well. Well, this doesn't look like it's a working door. Ah, these guys again. Leave me alone. These are so annoying. Oh, wait, oops. That was a weird camera angle. Yeah, I don't think there's anything here that I can go. Oh, but can I go through the window? No, I guess not. The game would be too amazing if it... Ah, god damn it. That's fine? Okay, cool. So I'll open up in a second. Let me just kill this guy. You know what? I don't have patience for this. I'm just going to use a gun. Because, you know, I'm sure I'm going to regret it. Because then I need the gun for the bosses. But I just feel like I just need to shoot this guy. Okay, cool. That did the trick. So let's just get the Spike again. This thing here. Long time Spike. Let's see if he's really dead. Now he is. Okay, cool. Can't go through here. Need to go around, I guess. Can I go around? No, I can't go around. This is all locked off. No, not locked off. I can go through here. Ah, Jesus Christ. I really don't want to kill these people because I don't have enough bullets to kill all of this. I really don't know where I need to go. I'm a bit lost. Is this a door? This is a door. Could be. Nope, it's not. That was a mistake. So Nick, I did go to Comic-Con, but I didn't have a pass, so I couldn't go in. So unfortunately, I only watched it from the outside. Yeah, I think there's nothing here. God damn it. Well, anyway, let's open up that shot so we can review it. I need to kind of figure out what to do here. So, okay, so I have the shot. Let's start with that before I go to the other questions. Oh, this is a really small image. Studio 10, do you have anything a bit bigger than this? Because this is really small. I'm just basically looking at it now. We just open it up. Because do you have anything bigger? Because you sent me, this is what you sent me. This is incredibly pixelated and incredibly small. Is this the image that you want me to check? So Studio 10, what do you wanna have a look here? What's the idea? Let me know what you want to know here. In the meantime, I'll go through the other questions here while I'm waiting for you to tell me. So Defiant Films TV is asking, I have a general curious question. Any suggestions on where to get started learning Houdini? I've been dabbling with some tutorials, but they are hard. Explain why they do things, etc. Sadly, not everyone is as a good teacher as you are. Thank you so much for that, Defiant Films TV. Thank you so much for the kind words. I think it's hard for me to know where to get good Houdini tutorials since I don't really know Houdini and I don't learn Houdini. I'm sure someone on the chat can help you with this, but I do remember seeing a lot of good Houdini tutorials at some point. I remember someone in the chat mentioned this. So I can't really remember, like I don't remember out the top of my head where to find them. But maybe, maybe have a look at FX PhD. Have you tried FX PhD? They are usually good. Normally they have good quality, so maybe have a look at what they have to offer at FX PhD and see what you can come up there. So, Studio 10 is saying, it's not the greatest, but I need some opinion. It's probably because the Discord doesn't have... Okay, so what's your question? Basically everything of the compositing. So Studio 10, I can't tell the compositing. This is so pixelated. I can't really tell you if it's well comped. I mean, it looks okay, but it's a bit hard for me to really know for sure until I see a high quality version. Is there any way you can send me a high quality frame? But maybe using like, WeTransfer or Dropbox or Google Drive, because it's so pixelated that it's very hard for me to really judge if your edges are good. I mean, it looks okay, although it kind of looks like these mountains look a bit not well integrated. But it's seriously, it's really hard for me to do it. Yeah, you can send me over Twitter. That's not a problem. Yeah, Nick has a point here. You should definitely check FX PhD. They have really good Houdini tutorials, maybe have a look there. Maybe they have good ones. I know they're a bit old though. So while Studio 10 is busy sending me the frame, I'm just gonna jump in here to other questions. So I have so Nick Lambert is asking, did you see much of a Comic-Con? Like I said, Nick, I couldn't go into the Comic-Con. I couldn't get a ticket because unfortunately, only like a few days before I knew I was going to San Diego, because originally I was supposed to go to LA to shoot, and then suddenly they changed it last minute to San Diego. And obviously, last minute meant that I couldn't get tickets to Comic-Con anymore, which was unfortunate, But I got to walk around the Round Comic-Con. So Round Comic-Con, they have a lot of booths, and they have a lot of people dressed, and they have a lot of people doing a lot of funny things, and that was really cool. The funniest thing really that I saw was a bunch of really religious fanatics with big signs saying that the people from cosplay would go to hell. So there was a bunch of people just pointing at all the cosplay players with the megaphones and posters of Jesus and posters of God, and they were constantly saying, "You're going to hell, miss. You're going to hell, man. You're going to hell, young man." So they were basically pointing at all the really racy cosplays, especially all the guys without shirts and all the girls with the manga really short skirts. Then they were just pointing at them, saying that they were all gonna go to hell, which was a bit weird. And that was like the most strange thing I saw in Comic-Con for sure. So Real Pixel Phil asks me, I've been looking into ACES, 20 plus stops of range. Seems like the color space to work in for CG and film. How is it implemented in Nuke, and how does it relate to linear 32-bit? So ACES is definitely the way to go, Real Pixel Phil. I don't have Nuke open at the moment, so I would really ask you to maybe return on Thursday, and I can show you how ACES work. ACES is basically a standard color space for the entire industry, you know. So that means that anyone that is using DaVinci, I'm going to show you here, anyone that is using DaVinci or anyone that is using Nuke or Photoshop or After Effects can just use ACES as the way to centralize all color space. So it's basically, as the range is as big as 32-bit float. The thing to keep in mind is that ACES is a standardization of color space. So what you should really do, Phil, what was it? Yeah, Real Pixel Phil, is you should look into this website. This is the biggest website of ACES, really. In here, you can see all the starter packs and how to use ACES on multiple projects. Now, inside of Nuke, the advantage is that when you use ACES, then that means anyone that sends you stuff from DaVinci, or if you go from Nuke to DaVinci, or if someone brings you things from Maya or from Arnold or from any other application, if you all use ACES, then everyone is using the same standards and the same color spaces. Now, obviously, this means that everyone on the pipeline has to be using ACES for this to work. Now, if you want to go through it inside of Nuke, I'm very happy to discuss it on Thursday. So if you return on Thursday, we can talk a bit about it. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about it, I don't know if you watched this video, but I do talk a little bit about ACES on this video. So I'm just gonna scrub until I have the ACES part. Let me just see. Did I put? Oh no, I didn't put. Let's just go to the ACES pipeline here. I think it's over here. Yes, that's where it is. I need to wait for the I need to wait for the ad to finish. Let me just give me a second. There you go. So yeah, so if you watch this video, let's just share this at that minute. So start at 27. Copy. So so Real Pixel Phil, if you watch this video, I do speak a little bit of ACES on this video, but definitely what you should do is you should remind me on Thursday when we can talk a bit more about it. I've been trying to do a video about ACES workflow for a while, but I've never really had the time. But have a look at this video. This was a video I made in November last year, and I do mention ACES a little bit. So maybe have a look at that. So did you send me the new frame? Maybe you sent me on. You probably sent me on Twitter. Let me just go to Twitter here and see if I have the message here. Let me just have a look. Okay, so you sent me a photo here. That's cool. Okay, so this is still really pixelated. What's going on with your frames, man? Still very pixelated. Yeah, it's as pixelated as it was, pretty much. I mean, it's a little bit better, but it's still pretty pixelated. So is there a reason why it's so low res? Like, do you have... What resolution are you working on? Now, I need to ask you one thing. Like, what exactly have you done here, and what exactly are you doing on this shot? So that's one question I have for you, because obviously this is a Star Wars shot, and obviously this is not yours, I'm assuming, because, you know, like, Star Wars belongs to ILM and it belongs to Disney. So I'm assuming what is this really? Have you rotoed this ship from a film, or have you rendered it yourself? Could you give me a little introduction of what's happening here? So you did everything. Okay, so you did the CG, the modeling, and the render. Is that the case? So if you did everything, then in that case, what resolution are you working on? Because this looks very low resolution at the moment. It looks really cool. No 3D. Okay, so how... Okay, Blender. Okay, so you used Blender for doing the whole thing, right? Okay. So if you're saying that there's no 3D... What is this ship then? Is it just an image, a still or something? Or you need to give me more information, because so could you explain exactly what you've done, like what it is? Is this a moving shot? Because if it's just a still, then it's really not a composite. Like, it's mostly a Photoshop image. Is it moving? Does it move? Does it animate as well? Yeah, you need to give me a bit more information, because it's a bit hard for me to understand exactly what's going on here. I meant, like, no, it is a 3D scene. Okay, cool. So yeah, so could you give me like full description? So if I was if I was on an interview, you know, so if I was interviewing you for a visual effects position in a company, you would have to explain to me either on a PDF description or on email exactly, or on person on the interview, exactly what you've done. So you need to tell me X, like the background was done like this, it was rendered like that, I modeled this, I modeled that, compositing was done here. So you need to kind of give me a full list of exactly what you've done. So write down that list, and then I can talk a bit about the shot. So we are pretty much on 50 minutes. So before, like while you're Studio 10, while you're writing down that description, let's do a break, because as you guys know, I do responsible streams, and you all should stretch your legs, and you all should basically make sure you get up from your chair, drink some water. It's really important for you to stretch your legs and get some blood flowing on your legs. So let's all do a break. Don't go anywhere. This will just be 3 to 4 minutes. So I'm going to do an intermission, and I'll be right back, and then I can continue discussing the shot from Studio 10 and answering all your other questions, okay? I'll see you very soon. Okay, so I'm back. I hope you've all stretched your legs. I hope you've drank some water, because it's very important for you to do that. Anyway, let's continue the stream here. I know I haven't been playing much Silent Hill today, but because you guys have had so many questions, so I'm gonna just wrap up all the questions here. So I already know from Studio 10 that he's gonna send me the image later. So I'm gonna look into that image later. Thank you so much for sending that, Studio 10. So let me just continue the questions here. So regarding ACES, real pixel fill, you know, you can ask me on Thursday, or we can kind of go through. You need to wait for me to make a video of that. And then I have a question here from Minovzinski 3000. I'm a composer for more than 15 years. Nowadays, I don't want to travel that much anymore. So what is the best way to find clients that hire me for remote work? So my first question to you, Minovisk 3000, is where do you live? Where are you actually living at the moment? Do you live in a main city that has like a lot of visual effects, or do you live outside a city center? So I think that would be my first question to you, Minovisky 3000. Because if you live near a big... You live in Germany? Okay, which city do you live in Germany, out of curiosity? If you don't mind saying, you know, if you don't mind mentioning where you live. If you don't want to... Okay, Cologne. So if you live in Cologne, it's going to be a bit more tricky. There's not a lot of visual effects in Cologne companies. So you definitely have to consider working remotely for sure. It's very tricky to work remotely. I'll give you that because of I can tell you from experience. It takes a long time for you to convince your clients to work remotely because they don't know you yet. So it's usually very common that you first go and work for a company for a while, and then once you work for the company for a while, then you can ask to work remotely. That's usually how it works. So is there any way you can probably spend a couple of months working, you know, maybe in Berlin or maybe in Munich or something like that? And I died, of course. I shouldn't be talking while I play. That's the problem. It's fine. It's fine. I had to go back anyway because I was in the wrong place. So I would say that if you live in Germany, there's so many companies of visual effects in Germany. So maybe consider working, making maybe, you know, if you have 15-year experience, you have a lot of experience. So why don't you, for example, go to Munich or maybe go to Berlin, work on the top film companies for like a month or two and try to see if you can bring some remote work from them. Because if they trust you, if you go there, they trust your work, they trust how you work, and if they like your work, then most likely they won't mind, you know. So that's kind of how I would say. Okay, I need to like restart this game because I fucked this game now. So I'm just gonna quit the game and gonna start again. Okay, so you already worked on a lot of big companies. Have you considered talking to the big companies about remote work? So, for example, Nick is suggesting Rise. Rise is an amazing company over there. I have quite a lot of friends working there. Also, Rodeo VFX. I have a lot of friends there, and they are very good. Have you considered contacting them? Have they been open to working remotely? So maybe have a look at that. I would definitely mention, maybe try to talk to them and see if you can convince them to give you some work, maybe some small work to start with. So that would be my advice. Now, Amir Osia Biat is asking, can I send you a shot? So I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Hamid Ossian Bayat can send me a shot for sure. If you don't mind it being shown here live, I'm happy for you to send a shot. It's not a problem at all. So just feel free to send it. You know, it's not a problem at all. Just send it here. Yeah, I'm gonna start the load again. And then other questions I have here. Rarput Himan Jun 33 is asking, "Hi Hugo, how are you? I'm very good. Thank you for asking. How was your experience in San Diego? I want to know, where did you actually learn Nuke from?" So my experience in San Diego was wonderful. I worked at Sony for 3 weeks there on set supervising. It was wonderful. I really enjoyed San Diego. It's America, you know, everything is big in America. And actually going back to that kind of conversation, I can share some photos because earlier on someone asked me about that anyway. So first of all, obviously keep in mind I cannot share anything about the project. Unfortunately, I'm completely NDA'd, so I can't really share the project, but I can just show you this was the green screen stage that we worked on. It wasn't very big, but we were shooting something small anyway. So this is the stage at Sony, which is a full green screen stage with all the lights in here. Of course, the lights are not on. That's why you see so many shadows. I can't show you anything of this project, so that's why the only thing you're going to see is a green screen. Nothing more, nothing less. I do apologize for that, but unfortunately, I can't really show you anything else more than that. I'm going to show you some more pictures. So if you go here, this is the basically the view from Sony. So Sony basically at the 11th floor has a bunch of restaurants. So this is basically the restaurant area at Sony, and then you basically can you can basically have lunch here. This is our group here having lunch. And then basically this is the view of San Diego. You basically have the city itself is somewhere there. This is in San Bernardino, which is a bit more far away. And this is all the companies around it. There's a huge parking lot as well. And it has a really nice view, as you can see. So this is the 11th floor of Sony San Diego. This is another view. This is actually the view from Ocean Beach. So Ocean Beach is one of the beaches of San Diego. It has a huge pier, a pier. This pier, the beach is over here, as you see on my mouse. And basically you have to walk all the way out to actually go through the pier. So this was a really nice day. I was like walking around. And this is really nice water as well. I didn't go to the sea anyway, so I have a video as well if you guys want to watch it. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, that's right. Videos have to be converted. This application doesn't read them immediately. So, yeah. Whoops. I dropped some water here. Sorry about that. Just a few drops. As usually, I have all my ice here, but the ice is all frozen. It's all melted already. Give me a second. I made a mess here with water. Never have beverages next to you when you're doing a stream. That's what I've learned. So you were asking how San Diego was. I'm showing you San Diego. I will show you in a second. I just need to wait for this to finish. You were asking as well, where did you actually learn Nuke? So that's a really good question. So I learned Nuke by myself, because I learned Nuke when it came out the first time. So I've been using Nuke since 2006. So it's been now, it's been a long time. Yeah, it's been 13 years since I've used Nuke. So I mean, taking into account, of course, people at Digital Domain are much more older than me, because Digital Domain created Nuke. So for years, Digital Domain had Nuke as their in-game, in-company tool. Yeah, this is the video that I've recorded. So this is basically just like a video in VR. So this is done by the Teta company. So as you can see here, this is the video, this is the arbor, and then you have, like, you know, it's funny, you can see the connection of the video, you know, the actual connection between the two seams, between the two lenses. There's some surfers here, as you can see. You can zoom in so that you can see them a little bit. They're just over there. It's a bit shaky if I go that far. And yeah, that's some surfers there as well, and they're all enjoying the sun. Of course, it's California. It's always sunny in California. So like I said, I've been using Nuke for 13 years, and which is a long time. I feel really old now. Thank you for that. And I learned Nuke by myself. So I was already, I was in After Effects. So I've been working in the industry for 20 years. Okay. Here's Bjorn, by the way. So you can, so those of you that do my compositing course, you know Bjorn. So that's Bjorn. He's just next to me here because he was with me. He has a wonderful T-shirt of the Karate Kid, as you can see there, Karate Kid. Like I said, I've been before I even used Nuke. I was using After Effects. So I've been working on the industry for 20 years. I started with After Effects, and then I moved on to Shake. And then I learned Nuke by myself. Of course, I didn't need to learn Nuke by myself because I already knew Shake, I already knew Fusion, I already knew After Effects. So it was okay to learn Nuke, you know, it wasn't that difficult. Obviously, back then, the only tutorial that was possible to use in Nuke was this one. I'm going to show you. So I don't know how old everyone in this chat is, but back in the day when I started in Nuke, these were the only two tutorials that existed. So you have this DVD here, which is the GNOME Workshop Introduction to Nuke Compositing. This was one of the best tutorials for Nuke ever made. Obviously, it's Nuke 5, so it's very old. It doesn't really relate now. This is the DVD. And then the same author launched Nuke Compositing in Production, which is an amazing... so this is a DVD from Robert Netherhorst, which is a very famous compositor. Here he is. I'm sure Nick knows him. Nick probably knows him. And probably you, Nick, you probably know these DVDs as well, I'm sure. I don't know how many old people or older people like me are in the chat here, but anyone that has been older in compositing knows about these DVDs. So this was kind of like one of the ways I've learned Nuke was watching these two DVDs. So I owe a lot to Robert really for the amazing information that he shared with everyone back then, and that's how I learned Nuke. And then of course, obviously, I've been using Nuke every day in production for 13 years. So I kind of memorized Nuke by now. So it kind of like, that's kind of normal, you know. Longtolini is asking if Bjorn survived the heat. Yes, he did. So Longtolini, Bjorn survived the heat by using protection sunblock factor. So he used the sun cream he used was a block factor of 70. So he is probably whiter now than what he was before. So, by the way, this is a cat. I know you've been watching this cat for a while. This is the staircase at Sony. Now, I can't show you much of Sony because it's NDA, but I can show you the staircase. So on each staircase, they have these beautiful paintings. They are done by, basically done by local artists, local graffiti artists. And this one is just beautiful. You see, you have like the little cat here. You also have another cat there on the top there. Look, he's flying like a space cat. So that's kind of like that's kind of cool. So that's a staircase at Sony. Obviously, like I said, unfortunately I can't really show you much about Sony. Let's see here, the next one. So this is one of the meeting rooms they have, which is kind of a garden somehow. It's of course open, so this is an open. This is the sky, and they can have meetings here because this is California, so they can have the meetings outside without having to be inside. Here's our director, Brandon, and in here is our producer, Zoe, from Sony, and this is me. So this is a nice place as well. You can also see this image here. This is the kitchen area where you can actually have some food. You can play some games. There's some PlayStation here as well. And the cool thing about this is that you kind of have this wall made of PlayStation controllers. These are all working PlayStation controllers that they just remove the insides, but they still work. You can still press the buttons. And this is just a wall of PlayStation controllers because why not? I guess. And this is the entrance. So the entrance of the Sony San Diego. So basically have the security people here. And then you have this lovely logo on burned wood, which is really nice. Like I said, I can't show you much because it's all NDA. This is the stage, Mocap Stage they have. So this is a gigantic Mocap Stage. They have, as I remember, they have 22 cameras on the ceiling here to do the mocap. So that's the mocap all on the top here. I hope I'm not boring about. I hope I'm not boring you with this. Please let me know in the chat if you guys don't want to see it. I'm just want to show you a couple of things. So I'm almost done though. So this is basically the mocap stage. It's a huge stage. This is actually the stage that they've used to do all the MLB The Show games. They've also used this stage for the PlayStation 4. A lot of PlayStation 4 exclusive games, and yeah, that's kind of it. The cool thing about this is that all the cameras are on the rig on the top here, so they're not on the sides. That means they can rig some green screens if they need to. So that's the mocap stage. And then let's see here. This is the capture stage. So they have, I think it's 100 cameras. These are pointing at me. And basically with this you can basically do a full three-dimensional model of the person, you know. So that's how it works. You basically photograph the person on any angle possible. It basically has photos on the bottom, it has photos on the side, has photos on the top. It's a couple of 100 cameras all shooting at the same time, and then it makes a full point cloud of the person being captured. And then also it makes the texture, high resolution texture of that person, is not just the capture itself. I think the next one, what is the next one? Yeah, it's the same thing. Let me just see if there's the next one. That's just the green screen state. I think I've rotated now. Yes. So I've showed you all. I basically showed you all the photos I could show. I can't really show much more. The only thing I can show you is what I've published on Twitter, because like I said, it's all NDA, so I can't really show you a lot. This was all my bags, so this is all my equipment. Basically in here I have the HDR spheres, I have all my 5Ds, I have lenses, I have a Mac Pro, I have all the kind of necessary tools I needed for on-set supervision. Oh, this is what I was talking to you guys about. This is the Epic demo. You guys should really check this out. Epic made a real projection system in using Unreal to actually project real footage. So you guys should check that out. What else do I have here? I have some. Yeah, if you ever go to San Diego, you should definitely go to a place to eat some really amazing Mexican food. This is a place called Lucha Libre. And if you want, you can actually book and sit inside the ring. So basically you get served inside the ring, and then you can have lunch inside the ring. There's even a microphone here and everything. And the cool thing about this is that the entire place is decorated with Lucha Libre paintings, you know, and cartoons, and it has like photos of Lucha Libre from Mexico. It's a really, really amazing place. If you ever are in San Diego, you should definitely go to Lucha Libre. It's a really, really cool place. There's several locations in San Diego. Also, if you ever are in San Diego, you should go through the Coin Op. So basically, the coin op is a place where you can basically play some games and drink some drinks. So it had these really nice neons, like Back to the Arcade and Cocktail in Dreams and things like that. But the cool thing about this is that it has like real arcades. Like I basically played Mortal Kombat, I played Street Fighter 2, played Marvel vs. Capcom 2. This is Bjorn playing Time Crisis 2 with the real gun. And the cool thing about this is that it's just with quarters, you know, so you can just play the games with quarters. And then you basically have drinks, you know, you can drink anything. It has burgers, it has drinks, it has all, oh, sorry, I have a new follower here on the front, which prevents us to seeing the photo really well, but you can kind of see that it has all the flip as well. It has like all the drinks as well. It's always packed, of course. You can drink beer, you can drink cider and vigno as well. What else do I have here? Here's me. This was the most amazing thing I've seen at Sony. So this is coffee with a tab. So you can basically pour coffee on a tab. And the cool thing about this is cold brew, right? So this is cold coffee. And I really love cold coffee. So this is on tab. And it's so dangerous because you can just keep drinking it and drinking it and drinking it. And you'll never stop, you know. It's really dangerous for you. So they also had beer and they also had like drinks and everything for free at Sony. And I think that's the last thing I'm going to show you. Oh, this is a really nice sculpture they have inside the studio. It's a real size sculpture from basically from Gallihan from the game. I can't remember the name of the game now. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's it. Oh yeah, I took this picture as well. I forgot about that. So I found at Comic-Con they had like Trump there, and I just excused his nipple, you know. So here I am doing that. Excuse me. So this was an amazing look. It has Twitter with a phone here. It's just awesome. Really enjoy that. Oh yeah, the first photo I published was I went to IOP and I had this massive churros pancake. It was massive. I couldn't even eat it all. It's insane. I should, you know what I should do? I'm now thinking about this. Whenever I can put another, whenever I can put, I think it's gonna be, I don't have it yet, but if we could put a new emote, what I should do is I should try to have an emote of this balloon. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do an emote of this balloon. I think that would be nice. So anyway, sorry about the all this stuff here. I'm gonna go back to the questions while I play Silent Hill. So more questions I have here. Let's see here. So Rems asks, "Hi Hugo, how are you? I'm very good. Thank you so much for asking. Do you know some website with free green screen to practice nude compositing?" I'm afraid I don't. Sorry about that. I really don't know any free places to get some green screen. I see that some people here on the chat are sharing some, so maybe you can have a look at that. But yeah, no real pixel fill. I did not wrestle the waitress. I'm not gonna do that. Yes, Defiant Film Cold Coffee is amazing. I just was shocked on how good it is. Talking about cold, I need to put my my ice here as well, just so I can have iced water here, because it's starting to get really warm here. So yeah, it was a great trip. I'm really happy with that. So let's go back to this thing here. So I basically have to. I need to switch off my. So it always switches off the controller to analog. I don't know why. Now it works. Light. So I kind of need to like find the. There was supposed to be a place here where I can open using that that key. So I'm gonna see if I can find that place. Okay, so let's see here. So I'm at the pool. I'm gonna look at the map and see if I can find any more things here. So I'm at Annie's bar. I basically want to go back to the recreation area. Let's just see here. I think it was on the other side, I think, because I went through here. I'm starting to kind of remember where I was. It takes a while, you know. So let's see here. Yeah, that's exactly where I want to go. And then I kind of want to go up. No, not interested on killing you, because I don't want to spoil any coffee, any bullets. So I think if I go through here, I probably can find my... No, that's the opposite way. Doing it wrong. Ah, god damn it. It's this way. So I want to go this way here. Okay. I want to get to the rec room because I basically have the key, so I must use the key there. So is this the place? Let's see here. I was there before, so I must find it again. I think it's on the other side of this fence. No, it's not here. I remember it was here somewhere. Okay, so it's on the other side, so I'm going to the opposite side. These old games, man, are obtuse as hell. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Can I go in here? So this is the burger place. This is where I was before. I've been here before, I think. Isn't it? No, I wasn't here. I wasn't here yet. God damn it. Completely lost. Where's the weapon? I know there's an entrance because I was there when I started the game. There was like a door that I can go in. Where is that? Jesus, this game is so obtuse. God damn it. So going back to the questions here again. So, oh yeah, there's a shot here that you shared. I only noticed now. So let's just see here. I only noticed that now. Sorry about that. I'm just going to open up the chat here and share the shot. You're absolutely fine to share this shot with everyone, I'm assuming. I hope so. So let's open this up. So this is basically a quick time. Okay, so I'm going to... Uh-oh, I have to wait for this to... I have to wait 3 seconds. Let's just wait 3 seconds for this to download. Okay, cool. Free download. Is it downloading now? Yes. No, I do not want to do a new account. How long is this going to take? Okay, it's not too bad. Okay, cool. I'll wait for that to download. Other questions I have here. Let's see. Kaiser7 says, for a junior compositor, is it better to apply in a small company or a big one for starting? So Kaiser, it's a really good question, but it's a bit tricky to consider. Like, think about it. If you go to a small company, you're going to be a generalist. So that means you're never really going to develop your skill sets to the maximum. You're always going to work in commercials, always going to work in like a lot of different projects. If you go to a big company, you're going to specialize on something. The biggest problem, of course, of the big company is on the big company, you're going to earn less money. And on the smaller company, you're going to earn more money. So it's a bit of a catch-22. For me, I think like a small studio is better for create. So advantages of a small studio. A small studio is better if you want more creativity, if you want to basically have a say on the shot, if you want to work in a lot of different projects at the same time, and if you want better pay. That's better for a small studio. The problem is that the smaller studio will have worse projects, and it will have worse deadlines, and potentially worse people around you to help you. Now, if you consider a bigger studio, is going to have a lot of very talented artists that you can learn from, but it will also have really cool projects. It will also have really cool shots and good tasks. But the downside of a big studio is that it's going to be paying you less, and also it's going to be slower, your progression inside a bigger studio. Not to mention that it's harder to go into a bigger studio. So keep those things in mind, okay? I hope that answered your question, Kaiser. Ahmed Hossan Bahat. So this shot here, let's just have a look. Okay, cool. So this is, I guess, let me just loop this for a while here. We'll just loop it. So what exactly are we looking here? So what exactly did you do? Could you explain to us exactly what you did here? It's always very important for you to explain everyone that is watching, what did you actually do? So did you model this? Did you only do the simulation? Did you just do the explosion? What exactly was your task here? So, okay, so yeah, you say simulation and rendering were done in Houdini, Mantra engine, also composed in Nuke, but I don't see the explosion, but I don't see that explosion look. Maybe it's a bit underexposed. So a couple of things that I would say. So first of all, I think that the simulation itself, I mean, I'm not really sure exactly what type of a fuel you're trying to emulate, but it what kind of explosion is this? Is this like a missile, or is it like a fire explosion? Because at the moment it has a lot of fire. That can only mean that it's like made of napalm, or made with a fuel with a lot of fire, like, you know, petroleum or oil or gasoline. It's not really like a dynamite explosion, which would have less fire. Also, keep in mind that if it's a missile, it probably has less fire as well and more black smoke. I think that's the first thing that I would say to your explosion. It kind of looks a bit liquid here, so it's almost like this kind of looks a bit weird. Maybe look at more references, but it looks okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm really nitpicking it. Okay, I think it does look nice in terms of compositing itself. One thing you should know is that if something this bright would be on screen, you kind of have to choose which ones to expose. Okay, so so this is. Oh, this is a missile explosion. It's your first experience? Well, congratulations. If this is your first project, this looks really good for a first project. So very well done. As a first go, I think this is very well done. So in terms of compositing and in terms of lighting, you kind of have to decide, okay, am I exposing to the floor or am I exposing to the fire? So because at the moment you have everything is too even. Like if we were exposing this fire to the camera, the background would be a lot darker because this fire is so intense. If you were exposing to the background, which I would say you would, because you first want to film the statue itself, then I think that the fire should be a lot more powerful. You know, I think the fire would overexpose a lot more, and also you probably have to work a bit more on your glow. At the moment, your glow has very little fall off. You know, you can see that the glow has way too much saturation. You can kind of see here it has too much red around this area here. And what you want to do is you want to do a several tier glow. You basically want to go with a glow with very high tolerance for you to have just the glow of the inner fire. Then you can have a second glow, which would be with more tolerance, where you would have a bigger range of glow around the fire, but with less saturation. And then I would put a third glow, which would be an even higher glow, feathering all the way to here, you know, so that you see a lot of it going out. Because at the moment, your glow is too compact. You know, it's almost like it's too static. It should be further away, and it should definitely expose more inside of it. But like I said, I'm nitpicking because I think you did a really good job. I think this is looking nice. As a first experience, I think you did really well. The other thing as well that I would say is if you could, on your simulation, because your fire and explosion looks really nice, but then there's something that looks a bit weird. So you see here, I can kind of see the bending of the motion blur. You can kind of see that you don't have enough resolution on your smoke. You see, I can kind of see the cutting of your smoke. I see the resolution steps of your smoke. Basically, your smoke is doing stepping, which is not good. You need to like improve the quality of your smoke. The other thing as well, if you look at this massive explosion, right? This explosion is massive, right? So if it's massive, why is the statue so perfect yet? If this is such a big explosion, all these pieces of debris would most likely be vaporized. They would be really tiny. So I think you could keep a lot of the big rocks, but you also have to bring in a lot of small rocks, a lot more small rocks, to have a feeling that this was completely vaporized by that explosion. At the moment, I kind of feel that you just broke it. You know, it almost looks like someone hit with like a demolition ball, and then it broke the stones. But this was not a demolition ball. It was a massive explosion. So try to vaporize your blocks a bit better. But I think, again, like I said, I'm nitpicking. So please take my opinions with a grain of salt. You know, I'm really nitpicking it. I'm being very thorough on it. So I think it's a great example as a first experiment. So I think you did a great job if it's the first thing, you know. It has, yeah, I think, you know, like Defiant says here, got a lot of potential, but the thing that bothers me the most is the time scales are off. The fire should look a lot quicker than that, even in slow motion compared to the rocks falling. Yeah, that's right. Defiant Film has a really good point there. I think the tempo is off as well. Thank you so much for that opinion. It should also be quicker, as he says, and if the explosion would go quicker, it would give it sense to power. So I think like Defiant is saying, it is really well done, but you just keep in mind that it needs to be faster, and you need to vaporize your target more, and you definitely need to increase the quality of these smokes, especially the first ones. Look at this. If you look here, I can clearly see that the resolution, you can see the cutting of the smoke. I can see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You basically need to introduce more motion blur on your smoke, or need to introduce more samples on your smoke, because your smoke is not sampled enough, you know. So I hope that that helped you a little bit. I hope so. Thank you so much for sharing. We really appreciate watching that. That was a really cool thing that you shared there. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Ah, this dog is driving me nuts. I haven't really... Yeah, substep problem. Absolutely. You need to just basically make sure you can get like better resolution going on there. And this dog is driving me nuts, man. I can't stand this dog. Need to go to the other side here and just get into that door that I told you about. Yes, that's exactly where I want to go. So there were some doors here. I just need to find them again. This is the end. That's not where it was. God damn it! Where were they? I know they were here somewhere because I was at those doors. This game is so obtuse, man. Jesus, it's so obtuse. Maybe it was more into the back there. Let me just keep going here. Not there. I think I'm going on circles. I'll go to the next question in a minute. Give me just a second. Try to just work out where to go first, because this game is driving me nuts. This gameplay session is horrible. Sorry about that. I'm not really playing Silent Hill, am I? I'm just basically chatting with you guys. But I was expecting this. You know, it's the first time I came back for a while, so we haven't had a stream in a long time. So I was expecting this. You know, we had a lot to talk about. I had a lot of things to show you, so it's normal that we're doing this, I think. Okay, so that's the end as well. So that's not where I want to go. Oh, I'm completely lost here. Jesus Christ. Where the hell was that? Is it on this side here? I know there was doors, so I need to find them. The doors are not here, of course. Just some... Oh, wait a minute. Wait. That's good. Some blood. Right. So I have some rifle shells. I still don't have the rifle, though, so that's a messed up thing. Some handguns. That's good. See if I can kill you. Ah, there's two of them. Jesus Christ. This is so obtuse, this game, man. Just die already. There you go. You're dead. And what about the other one? Where's the other one? What? Oh, it's the bug again. Well, you're stuck on the corner now. Oh man, god damn it. Do I need to like use my do I need to use my health? No, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, cool. Now these guys are dead. I can relax and find my way in here. So the opening of the sewers were here, so that's where I came from. Okay. Yeah, that's where I came from. I believe. Yeah, it was exactly. That's where it came from. So more questions here. Let's see here. So Ramzi asks. So Kaiser 7, I hope that answered my question. Your question about the small company to big company. Ramzi asks, how did you make the transition from After Effects to Nuke to work in VFX? Personal project? How did you manage to get a nice Nuke reel? So the transition from After Effects to Nuke, that's a really good question because it is tough for you to leave After Effects because you're so used to it, you know. So the way that I forced myself out of After Effects was in the company where I was working, which was a company in Sweden. I basically convinced the company to buy Nuke. And then I did a very radical thing. I basically started doing some After Effects projects, and at the same, like I was doing some motion graphic projects on After Effects back then, and some CG compositing as well. And at the same time that I was doing the After Effects shots, you know, exactly at the same time that I would be doing them, I was also at the same time comping them in Nuke. So I would basically comp them twice. I would comp them in After Effects, and then I would try to replicate exactly what I did in After Effects inside of Nuke. It took a long time. It was very difficult to do, I can tell you that. It was not easy. But the good thing about that is that it really made me work a lot in Nuke. And eventually, after a while, after me doing, 5-6 projects where I would do them side by side, I would basically do it in After Effects and Nuke at the same time, but of course I would deliver the After Effects. At some point, I just did a radical thing. I uninstalled Nuke out of my machine. I uninstalled After Effects out of my machine, completely uninstalled it, and then forced myself to do the whole project in Nuke. It was very painful, I can tell you that. It was very hard for me to really do the whole thing in Nuke, but that was the fastest way for me to learn because it forced me to really use it, Okay, this door can't open it. So I think that's the best approach, is for you to force yourself into Nuke. Otherwise, it will never happen. You'll never learn it, So that's my advice to you. Basically, either uninstall Nuke. I'm so distracted by the game that I keep saying the wrong thing. What I mean is like uninstall After Effects and really go deep into Nuke. That's my advice. But start with the same project on both. So that would be my first advice. Basically, pick up a project, a real project. And it has to. And here's the thing: it can't be a personal project. It cannot be. You know why it can't be a personal project? Because a personal project has no deadline. You do not want to use that as your testing ground. Basically, you do not want to use a personal project. You basically want a real project, because then it forces you to do it. And then you first do it in After Effects, and then you do it in Nuke, and then you deliver the After Effects version. And then after that, basically, once you feel a bit more comfortable with Nuke, then uninstall After Effects from your machine. Really do that. That is the moment that you're really going to learn Nuke, is when you don't have After Effects, because then After Effects is not there to help you. Because a lot of people use After Effects to help them, and then they never learn Nuke. So that's my advice to you about that, okay? So Juan Lu Marado is asking, any news that you can share about PlayStation 5? Man, I can't say that, man. What are you talking about? No, I can't share anything about PlayStation 5. I don't know anything about PlayStation 5. You should read on the internet. There's a lot of information about PlayStation 5. All the information you find on the internet, that's the information you should read. I can't tell you anything more or anything less. I can't even tell you if I know anything about it. Maybe I know, maybe I don't. It's really something, sorry guys, but I can't talk about it. That is just not possible. I'm all NDA'd. I can't even tell you what kind of project I'm using, what kind of project I worked on. I can't even tell you if it was a game or not. I was just on a shoot, and that was it. Okay, so, there's a crack. Something glints inside. It looks like a key, though. The crack is too small to reach. Do I have anything on me that could help me to reach that thing? I don't think so, though. Yeah, none of this shit works. Okay, well. So I hope that answered your question. Rapud Hima Shoot 33 says, could you have a quick look at my demo reel for Rotopaint? If you want here to share, then I have no problem, or else whatever, you're free. Yeah, sure. If you don't mind it, if you don't mind that it's going to be shared publicly here on Twitch, then I can definitely talk about it here. But don't forget that Twitch is public, so everyone will see your show reel. So if you don't mind that, you can definitely share the show reel. And I'm very happy to give you some feedback if you want. It's not a problem at all. Okay, so I don't think I can do anything else on this room. So I can't pick up that key. I don't know why. So if you want to share your show reel, just please be my guest. Let's see here. Okay, so okay, you have shared. So let me just go through the questions and then I'll go through the show reel. Okay, so going back to the simulation we saw, simulation rendering were done in Houdini. Okay, I read that already. Akam XP is asking, when will the course start? So if you're talking about the Kickstarter course, as you know, it's written on the course, it's on the video, it's everywhere written. It starts in September. That's when the course starts. If anyone here on this chat still wants to go to the course, if you still are interested to sign up for the course, you can still do that, okay? Because we still have some slots available. So if anyone on this chat is still interested on going to my compositing course, you can still sign up. So if you want to know more about the compositing course, I just published it there on the chat, and I'm going to share with you what I mean. So this is the page that I just shared on the chat. You can watch the video so if you go in here, there's a video explaining what this course is. And there's another video here with questions from everyone on social media. So this course, like it says here, you see estimated delivery September 2019. Estimated delivery, it will probably be in September at some point. We don't have a date yet, so that's when the course starts. So if you guys still want to be part of this course, because right now we have 82 students. If you still want to be part of this course, you can contact me on social media, and then you can still be part of it if you want to. So feel free to do that if you want. Okay, so Defiant Films TV asks, whoa, you've worked here in Sweden? Yes, I have. So from 2005 to 2009, I was working in a company in Uppsala called Animec. They don't exist in Uppsala, I believe, anymore. I think they're in Stockholm now. And they basically are a company that did a lot of CG animation, like the word says, Animec. They do a lot of CG animation for mechanical companies and for the pharmaceutical companies, a lot of corporate films. I was there as a compositor, and then I became an art director as well. And I also did a lot of editing inside that company. So I'm gonna close off the questions because I need to do a break. I need to stretch my legs. So let's just going through the. I have the last question here from Kaiser7. Do you have any tips to achieve an 80s TV screen look? Yeah, sure. I do have some tips. I mean, you definitely can use some filters and some grids. I don't have Nuke open right now because I'm playing Silent Hill. This is the Q&A session. But if you want to come back in Thursday, we can go through a few things. There's a couple of gizmos on Wikipedia that you can look into. But if you want, come back on Thursday. And basically, we can open up Nuke and I can show you a couple of things. But I will tell you this, though. If you want to have a TV screen look from the 80s, most easy is to use After Effects because you'll probably find a lot of plugins for that. So maybe it would be the best way. So Kaiser7 is asking, where can I join? So if you want to join the Nuke course, Kaiser, basically just need to message me. You can message me on Twitch, message me on Twitter, You can message me on the Kickstarter. You can message me on Facebook. Any social media account will do. You can even privately message here on Twitch as well. Just message me and I can send you the details. That's the only thing I need. It can be any of the places, okay? So I'm going to do a break because we've been doing this for a while now without the break. So let's do a short break. I'll be right back. Don't forget to stretch your legs and don't forget to drink some water, okay? Let's do an intermission. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so I'm back. I hope you guys stretch your legs. I hope you guys drink some water. Very important to do that. Yeah, yeah, you should really check in Nukepedia. There is a couple of things there, so I would really look into Nukepedia. And Nick has a good point here. If you project it into a sphere in 3D and get some distortion, could really look cool. So yeah, maybe have a look at that. Let's talk about it on the stream on Thursday.
More to the left.
Thank you so much, Nuke X17 for the Twitch Prime. Much appreciated for the subscription on Prime. Now, I need to do a little bit of promotion right now. So don't forget that if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to my Twitch channel for free. Subscriptions on my Twitch channel give you basically 2 perks. One perk is that you get a really lovely logo of Hugo's Desk next to your name. Also, you get access to specific emotes that are only available for subscribers. You also get the chance to watch any replay on the next 60 days. Don't forget that after 60 days, the only way for you to watch the replay of this stream is if you're a subscriber. And then after 60 days, it gets deleted, and then you can watch them if you are a Patreon. And then after 3 months, then it finally will be on YouTube, which means that it will only be on YouTube 4 months from now. So today, the stream will only be available on YouTube 4 months from now. So keep in mind, if you have Amazon Prime, maybe consider supporting my channel. It really helps my channel. It helps me keep this stream alive, helps me keep doing the stream. So... but yeah, thank you so much for the subscription, Nuke X17. I like your name. Now, your name is going to be outdated at some point because we're about to launch with Nuke 12. And don't forget that we're probably going to get to Nuke 17 maybe in a couple of years. So that's which is going to be fun. Once you get to Nuke, what are you going to do once you get to Nuke 17? Are you going to be called Nuke 18? Is that what you're going to do? Anyway, so I have now managed to do this. I need to find a way of bringing that key. Let's just see if there's any at the door here. Keep the questions coming. We still have like about half an hour. I have a couple of more things to show you as well, but let's just play a little bit more and then I can show you a couple of more things. I have especially have a really nice book that I want to suggest for you guys to buy. Oh, you started compositing in 2017. Okay, I see where you're going there. Yeah, you'll need to find a you'll need to find a new name then. Okay, this is all closed. Okay, so yeah, wait, what? It's a cutscene, I guess. No. Oh no, it's just basically that's just like it's not a cutscene. So I think there was like a door. Yeah, here's a door. Oh, Jesus, I hate this guy. I hate this guy, this monkey. Just die already. Oh man, okay. So that was not. Now he's dead. Yes, he's definitely dead. Okay. So I have a code here. There's a code pad here. That's what it looks like. So I'm assuming the code is the code that I had on a little piece of paper. So I made a note of that piece of paper. Let me just see here. I've wrote it down. So just give me a second. Where's the piece of paper? Fuck, where did I put the piece of paper? Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. 088. Okay, so 0886. Enter. Yeah. Okay, cool. So what's here? So S*9 LED says, hi, today no compositing. No, as you already probably know, and this has been happening for a lot of months, on Mondays, we always do a stream. Oh, sorry, I had a little failure there. I think it's back now. On Mondays, we always do Q&A. So basically, it's ask questions. You can ask me questions. You can ask me questions about visual effects. You can ask me questions about compositing. You can ask me questions about your showreel. You can share your showreels. You can share your shots. So that's kind of how it works on Mondays. And then on Thursdays, that's when we do the compositing workshop. So come back on Thursday, and then you'll have the compositing workshop. So it's always like that. Mondays, it's the Q&A. And on Thursdays, it's the compositing workshop. So don't forget, we were supposed to see a showreel here. So who asked for the showreel? Let me see here. There was someone here saying that they wanted to share their showreel. Where was that? I can't find that question at the moment, but there was someone that asked that. Maybe Lock Tulini can help me with that. Lock Tulini, didn't someone ask to show a showreel? I think they were. Someone asked that, didn't they? I can't remember where that question is. Maybe I skipped. Maybe I missed it. Yeah, I definitely think someone wanted to share their showreel, but maybe you can help me try to find that. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, thank you so much, Ramsey. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna open this up and I'm gonna let's look into this. Okay, Harry Potter, I like that. Harry Potter is the name. Okay, so let's have a look here. Password. Let's have a look. So I'm gonna play the showreel first. Wait, I'm gonna play the showreel first, and then we can talk about it at the end. Okay, I'm gonna put it in full HD. I'm also going to remove my image from here. Okay, so I'm just gonna do that real quick. So I'm gonna just remove everything out, so we only see the video. Okay. Okay, cool. So let's watch it first, and then we can start talking about it. Okay, cool. Let me just wait, oops. Let me just god damn it. Sorry. I can't seem to I just want to have it on the side. Okay, here you go. So let's go through this. I'm just gonna turn on my webcam. So first of all, thank you so much for sharing the showreel with all of us. It was a really good showreel. Although, unfortunately, because of your showreel, now my Twitch stream will be I'll get a copyright strike because of your song. I should have switched off the song. That was my fault. That was a shame that I left the song running, because unfortunately now I'm gonna have a copyright strike because of this song. But I'll remove it on YouTube later on. So yeah, thank you so much for the showreel. Let me just go through. Unfortunately, I can't. It's always a shame that I can't scrub, because I hate Vimeo because of that. But I'm going to try my best to scrub it and go through that. So let's just go through shot by shot. So it's funny that I saw some shots here that I know because I was a teacher at Scape Studios for many years. So I was a teacher for a long time at Scape Studios. And obviously a lot of these shots, I know them very well. So first off, let's start with your intro. I think the intro looks really great. It looks nice. One thing you might want to consider on the intro is to already have your email in this intro. So maybe if you could add your email somewhere on this motion graphic. I think it would be important for you to have your email at all times. Oh, okay, you didn't hear the sound? Oh, that's great. So I probably forgot to place the sound. That's good. Thank you so much. I am sorry about that. You should have heard the sound. That's weird. Was it because I switched? Oh, I know what it is. I think by mistake. Yeah, I know what it is. I muted the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Well, that's good. Then we don't have any copyright. But here's the other thing as well. Sound. I'll start with that. There's no point of hearing the sound, so don't even worry about the sound or the song or anything. Because no one watching a compositing showreel will ever hear the sound. I tell you this from experience. I was the VFX supervisor and head of Nuke compositing at the mill for years, and I muted all the showreels I watched. If your showreel doesn't hold up without music, then it's not a good showreel. You should never have dependence on music. That means you should not waste your time trying to synchronize the music to the showreel. You should not waste your time trying to get a really nice song. All those things are pointless because hardly anyone hears the song. Having said this, I can tell you one thing. Your song is nice, so I think you did good there. So you did a good job. Rems Z, you did a good job on selecting it. So can I call you Ramsput? I guess Raiput. Is that how I say it? Rasput? Maybe Rasput. Anyway, I think you should have your email here. Let me just continue here. So your first shot, roto. So this is the plate. And basically, I think your roto breakdown is good because you show the alpha channel and then you show the comp. But I don't think your roto is very good. If you look here really close, this edge is feeling very unnatural. You can clearly see there's a huge blur edge there. There's no detail on the hair, and I think you really need to work that out. Like, especially if you look here, we can clearly see there's like a bit of a fringe edge on the nose as well. There's also some motion blur leftovers. You can see some purple motion blur there as well. So there's quite a lot of things that need to be improved for this to be a really good roto, especially on things like this. You see in the hair here, I'm missing all the details of the hair that I should have there, because if I go back to the plate, you see there's more hair, although this is a key, I'm sure. Is this the actual plate, the real plate? Because this plate, is that, or is this a composite that was made? So please let me know what is that. But definitely you're missing a lot of detail on the hair on your roto, so you need to kind of work that out, and also work a bit on the motion blur. But it's good. It's a good start. But you kind of need to kind of work a bit better on it. I can't scrub frame by frame, unfortunately, but there's a lot of weird things going on here as well. It was the actual plate. Okay, so yeah, definitely you're losing a lot of detail. Your hairs need to be more detailed, and your motion blur is a bit loose. Your edges are a bit wrong there, but it's especially here. Look, I like I said, I can't go frame by frame. I wish I could, but you can clearly see here. You see this is not good. This motion blur is too dark and too black. So you kind of want to work a bit more on that to have a better roto. Now, keep in mind, I'm being very picky, you know, super picky, but that's how it works. Like you really want to be picky as you can. So going back to this plate here, this plate suffers from the same problem. Your roto is missing quite a lot of details, and unfortunately, I can't go frame by frame. But there is literally there's a lot of missing details on the hair as well, and you have a bit of a black edge there, and it's boiling a little bit. And especially here on the branches, it's boiling quite a lot, especially if you play it back. you can kind of see that it's boiling a bit. But it's a good work. It's good work anyway. This one, it's funny to see this plate. Like, this was one of the plates that I used to teach at Scape Studios, because, like I said, I was a teacher at Scape Studios for years, and so we used to use this plate. Of course, I would wish that I could see it in high quality. I wish I could see it in high quality and go frame by frame. I can't do frame by frame on Vimeo, which is a shame. It doesn't really work, but I think you did a good job. It looks to me like it's okay, but obviously in Vimeo I can't really judge the grain. I can't go really close to it, so it does look good. This one here as well looks like a solid cleanup. I can't really tell any problems of major problems that you might have here. Again, if I could go frame by frame, it would be more helpful, but I think it looks good. This one here, I understand what you're trying to do, but there's one thing I would say is that it would have been nice if this shot was better filmed, you know, because it's okay, you know, it's nice, but it's a very poor plate. It doesn't look very nice, the plate. It's a bit defocused. It's a very amateur plate. So it would have been nice if you would have made like a higher quality plate. Then where's my? I lost the play button. Where's the play button? Let me just refresh this, because I lost the play button for some reason. There you go. Now we have the play button again. And now I can go back to that place there. Yeah, so I think the cleanup of the face with the dots looks good, but I just think you should have filmed something with better quality. Maybe better lighting, maybe in another background. It just looks very poor. It looks very amateur. And also, it's not a very complex shot. It's quite easy to do this. So, you know, I definitely think... And I can't go frame by frame, so I can't really tell if this is merged correctly or not. It's very difficult to tell on Vimeo on such a blurry plate anyway. This is well made. This was one of the exercises we had at Scape Studios, so you did a good job there. I can't see any major problems. Again, I can't go frame by frame, and I can't really zoom in and see the grain, but I'm hoping that it's good. This shot here suffers from the same problem with the person on the dots removing on the face. This is a very amateur plate. I wish that you have filmed something a bit better, you know, but it's well made, the cleanup. But so going back to all the shots, you definitely need to always start with your best shots, right? So that's the whole point. So I think you did good on starting these two roto shots, but I think they need some better rotoscoping and better edges. So I definitely would start with that. These shots look good. I would then definitely leave the ball. I would definitely leave these monkeys as well. I think they look great. I would probably skip this shot here, because I think this shot doesn't look good enough. It really brings down the quality of your showreel. It's not good enough for the rest of the showreel. It's the only shot that doesn't look like production shot. So I think it really brings down the whole thing. And then after that, I would leave the bread, of course. And also I would remove the wide shot with the people disappearing. Because again, I think the same problem with the face. I think it's not good enough for the rest of the showreel. But yeah, well done. Like, I think it's a good showreel. Do you have a job already? Like how's that working? I think you did well. You know, I think you have a good showreel. So how are you? How is it everything going? Like, have you kind of got an offer already? Or are you already sending it off to other companies? How's that going? So I hope that that helped. Let's see here. Other question. I hope that helped. I hope that. Could you let me know if you need more feedback on the showreel, or that worked? I hope that worked. So let's go back to Silent Hill while I continue my gameplay and also continue to go through this thing. So in here we have more questions. There's a newspaper. Okay, and I can't read it, I guess. What is this on the sofa here? A magnet. Okay, a magnet. Why do I want a magnet? Oh, I guess the magnet can probably pick up the key. Yeah, that's good. Let's try that. Anything? Newspaper? Is this what is this poster about? A poster is on the wall. No time to look at it. Okay. He has no time to look at it. Can I turn on the radio? There's the radio. Okay. Completely dead. Okay. Maybe it's broken. Okay. Fine. TV. Is TV working? There's a TV. Must be out. Doesn't work. Okay. So then there's a bathroom here. I'm assuming it's the bathroom. Oh, cool. It's a safe point. That's good. Nothing special. There's a guest resistor, nothing special written on it, and then I can save. Let's just save the game, because I haven't saved in a while since I lived here. So let's just answer the questions here. So Eric Nedick, that's a nice name, Eric Nedick, asks, hi Hugo, I want to ask about your workflow. How often do you use Nuke Studio? Do you prefer any editing program, Premiere Pro, Final Cut, etc.? Rendered Nuke X. So I use Nuke X. I use Nuke Studio for everything regarding conforming. So when you want to convert, basically the process, the professional process is you are doing editing on an editing application, and you tend to use proxies on that editing application. Once you finish the editing on proxies, what you do is you export from the editing package, you export what we call an XML or an EDL, and then you ultimately go into Nuke Studio or DaVinci, and then you conform the shots. What does this mean? This means that you're going to use the original EDL to link not the proxies, but to link the raw plates. Once you have the raw plates on Nuke Studio, then you can export those plates into individual shots. And that's what conforming means. You're basically conforming each shot to shot 1, shot 2, shot 3, shot 4, and also you are basically conforming them to starting at 1001, 1002, and that's what a conform is. So that's what Nuke Studio is used for. Nuke Studio is not an editing application. Nuke Studio is a conform application. There's a lot of misconceptions there. I personally use Final Cut. That's what I use because I'm Mac OS based. So I use Final Cut Pro X for everything. So that's how I use. So you're asking about the workflow. The workflow would be editorially is done in Final Cut X with proxies. I then export an EDL or an XML from Final Cut, go into Nuke Studio, open up the EDL or the XML, and link the EDL XML into all the footage and raw footage. Then I export to EXRs using ACE's workflow into Nuke shot by shot. That's how I work inside of Nuke Studio. Okay, hope that helped your question. And there's a motorbike here, so I guess can I use it? An old motorbike. Looks like it's been sitting here for years. Okay, that's weird. The dust has been wiped away on the okay, so I guess I can't use it at the moment. There's some bullets here. Now, next question I have here from Nal Wine, I guess. I have a job interview tomorrow as a junior in Munich. I don't know how much money I should ask for it. It's for a German animation movie, so it's not so big. So is this for animation or for compositing? What are you doing in the film? Could you tell me what you're doing in the film? Are you basically going to do is it a compositing position, or is it an animation position? Let me know, okay? And then the other thing I need to know is how many years of experience do you have? Do you have any experience whatsoever, or are you completely junior and never worked before? So that's also important to know before I can give you like a range of values. You do compositing, okay? And how long have you been working? Have you ever worked anywhere else? Have you worked on any other company? You know, like those kind of things are really important to know, so I can give you a range of values, you know, for you to ask. Let me know, and I'll try to. Okay, I'm gonna try the magnet to see if I can get that key. Was it this room here? Yes, it is. So how long? Okay. You have 1 year experience. Okay, so you have a showreel, I guess. So if you have 1 year experience, then you can probably ask a little bit more money. Do you have a good showreel? Have you worked in film? Have you worked on... What kind of projects have you done for that year of experience? So let me know. I'm going to use the magnet here. Just try to see if I can bring that key over. Okay, cool. Motorcycle key. Cool. So that was where I was just now. So I have to go back, I guess. Shit. This is the thing with these games, man. You have to constantly go backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Okay, so now I can just go here. So you said 1 year experience. What else? What kind of projects have you worked on? Don't forget me. I've worked in a German kids movie. Okay, so if you've worked in a film and you have some experience, I would advise you to ask for a little bit more money. So I would say that if you are a junior, I would say that you probably... I mean, I normally know that the rates of UK so I need to convert them. Give me just a second. I need to convert them to euros because I only know the pounds. So if you're a junior, you're gonna look into maybe earning anything between 100 euros. So as a junior compositor, so depending on how you negotiate with your experience, I would say that you would have to be earning at least 100 euros a day per day. And this is if they want a day rate, okay? So I would say like 100 euros per day. If you can negotiate a bit more, maybe you can get another 150 euros per day if you can negotiate a bit better. But that's kind of how a junior compositor for film would get at some point. I mean, if you're really good at negotiating, maybe you can get 100 and 200, but... And this is all per day, don't forget, okay? So if you want like per month, you have to calculate it with 21 days, you know? So that's kind of like how I would say. So that's kind of what you should ask for. So if you're too scared of asking 200, maybe ask 150. You know, keep in mind that if you ask 150, they might ask you if you want 100. So I think 100 is still good, but you should definitely try to get a bit more, you know? So that's how, because you have experience already, so I definitely think you should get 150. That's what I would say, you know. So I hope that helped. You know, I hope that helped at least. So we're gonna wrap up the stream soon, but we still have time to watch one final showreel, I guess, because that's what we got another showreel here to watch. So I'm gonna use that key though. Let's see if I can. Yes, same text again. Yes. So I have a key, the motorcycle key. Just use that. Let's see what happens. Can I run away with a motorcycle? Would it be nice if I can run away?
More to the left. No, a little bit more to the
Oh,
left.
thank you so much for the subscription. Thank you so much, Screen Sam, for the subscription on Prime. Don't forget, everyone, if you have Amazon Prime, it's completely free for you to subscribe to my channel. It really supports my channel really well, so thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for the subscription. It's not freelancer, okay, so it's basically a work contract. So is it full-time then? Okay, so if it's full-time, I would say then you should probably just count 21 days per month then, but then you would probably get a bit less, I would say, you know. So if you're gonna have a full contract, so is this like a full-time contract like for a year, or is it like a full contract for 2 years? Like how long is this contract? Out of curiosity, just so you let me know, okay? Okay, so I got a small glass vial wrapped in a plastic bag. What is this? I like. It's like the bust vial I found in the director's office in the hospital. Okay. What can I do with this? Oh, there's a cinematic now.
Give me that.
What is this?
That's none of your business. Instead of messing with that, how about coming up with a way to get out of here? You shouldn't be hanging around here goofing off. What do you think you're doing? You want to get yourself killed? Get out of here.
Okay, take it easy.
Unless you want to die, keep your mind on business. Got it?
That was wonderful acting. So if it's a year with your experience, I would say junior contract for a year, maybe 20 to 25K a year, I would say. Try to get 25K, of course. 25K would be roughly £100 a day. So I think if you could try to aim for 25K, because they're always going to try to ask for you to have less. So, you know, try really hard to do that. I hope that helped, you know. Let me know if you want to know more things. So I have here Dan. No problem. I have here Danny Rod. Oh, but by the way, when they ask you less, make sure you make a stand for it. Okay, don't let them fool around and just pay you very little. So Danny Rod 8 asks book recommendation. I mean, I did that all the time. I do that on almost every stream. So I'm gonna do a smaller books recommendation right now. I'm gonna recommend the book that I'm reading right now, because it's amazing. So I'm gonna put the web chat here. So this is the book I'm reading right now. So this is The Making of Alien, the first Alien. So this is a massive book. Came out this week. It's massive. Look at the size of this thing. And it's basically the making of Alien, the first Alien. It's right now 40 years old. You see, it has everything from storyboards, from, you know, everything that you want to kind of know about Alien. It has everything from concept art, you know, it has like concept art from the film. It has, like I said, storyboards. It has the script, you know. It has production photos. It's really hard for me to share with you, but definitely have a look at this book. This book is amazing. I'm reading it right now. It has quite a lot of text, and it's called The Making of Alien. You should really look into it. Put this here. Okay, cool. So going back to the questions here, so I have a new showreel here. So Ramsey says, is there a way to review my showreel if it's good enough to go to VFX industry, or if it needs more work? Okay, so I have, I'm gonna share it on the screen here. I hope you guys don't, I hope you don't mind. So I'm gonna share it here on the screen, and let's first watch it. Like I said, I'm not gonna put the music. Okay, the reason I'm not gonna put the music, I'm just gonna check if it actually has music. So could you tell me if this music is original or if this is a commercial music? Because if it's a commercial music, I want to mute it. I just don't want to have a copyright strike because of this music. Could you tell me if it's a commercial song or not? In the meantime, you were asking about the book. I'm gonna show you how much it costs. So the book was, where's the book? Oh, I think I bought it a long time ago. Let me just Alien. I think if I put Alien here, it will show up. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I bought it on October. No, December. Yeah, so the book is $29.24. So it's an amazing book, guys. You should really look into it. Okay, so I won't put the music then if you don't mind. So that's the book if you guys want to buy it. So if you don't know if the music is actually a commercial or not, I'm not going to put the music. So let's watch the showreel first. I'm going to just like remove all my shit here from my screen so you guys don't have anything else here. So, and then let's watch the showreel first, and then we can talk about the showreel after. Okay, so that was a really good showreel. Really, really good. But I think I wanted to ask you something here about this. So tell me. I'm gonna just play it back again. So tell me one thing first, so that I know. Is this your own animation, or is this basically just compositing? Like, did you actually do the animation, or did you just do the compositing? That's an important question to ask, because obviously it makes a huge difference for the feedback that I can give you. So did you just do the compositing, or did you actually do animation as well? I just wanted to know that, because it has really cool stuff on the showreel. It's only compositing, okay. And are you trying to become a compositor full-time, like a film compositor, or are you just a commercial compositor? Now, I know you wrote it there, but I was just wondering if the animation was also done by you. I was just wondering, I understood that you wrote it. So, because here's the thing. Your showreel is really good, and it has a really cool stuff. But, unfortunately, it doesn't have any compositing skills, I have no compositing skills here. There's no keying. There's no rotoscoping, there's no cleanup, there's no painting. You just have a lot of really cool shots from animation projects. And if you want to become a VFX compositing artist, so if you want to work in film as a compositor, then you have a problem, because you need to have green screen shots, you need to have keying shots. You also need to have CG compositing shots. You have to have matte painting shots. You have to have rotoscoping shots. You're missing all the core skills of a compositor on the showreel. I can definitely see that you are very good and you do really good work. And everything here looks professional. But I just feel like you're too much of a generalist. You're almost like a commercials compositor, It all looks very much like an After Effects showreel. And if you really want to work in VFX, you need to basically start looking at having not just animation. You need to start, for example, I would say that this shot here really tells me nothing if you're a good compositor or not, because there's nothing real in it. So I can't really tell if you're a good compositor on this shot. On this shot, for example, here, it's really also very difficult because I just see a bunch of layers being layered together. So I really don't know if you're a good compositor or not. So this is the problem. You have too much 2D. You have too much animation. Even here, I mean, I can kind of tell that it's good, but even the depth of field is not very well made. Because there's no integration, it's just 2D with backgrounds. So this is, I think your showreel is wonderful. It is. It's really pretty and it's really nice. And I'm sure you can get any work on a generalist company. If you apply to like a normal commercials company, I'm sure you would get a job. I'm sure any of those companies would hire you if they're working in a lot of motion graphic stuff. But you see, even the things that are the closest to visual effects, which is, for example, this tripod shot, I can see that there's a lot of problems in compositing here. So, for example, the fires are very poorly composite, like they don't match the plates. The explosions are very poorly composite as well. Like, these explosions kind of don't work really well. You have too much light wrap between the elements in the explosion. The perspective looks a bit off. The matte painting looks a bit strange. It's all very foggy. So from a photoreal point of view, you have a lot of problems. But of course, your shot is very stylized. So if you're going for a stylization look, then of course the shot looks great. So it's difficult. You really should start looking into getting green screen shots, rotoscoping shots, cleanup shots, and then basically slowly removing some of these shots away and bring in some of the core compositing shots in. That is the only way you're ever going to get a job on a VFX compositing company. If you want to get a job on working on a film, you have to have shots that look like film. That's my advice. I hope I didn't brought a lot of negativity into your feed. I hope it wasn't too negative, but I think your work is wonderful. I think your work is really good, but you just have to start considering, if you want to be a film compositor, you have to have film shots. You have to get rotoscoping, keying, and cleanup into your showreel somehow. And then maybe start phasing out some of these shots, because some of these shots are nice, but they're not good for the public, you know, that you want. I think this is okay. So you're saying this is my goal, but I need to get pro at pro point of view. Yeah, absolutely. I think don't let my words discourage you. You know, I definitely can see on your shots that you have a lot of artistic direction, you have a lot of potential, and you know what you're doing. You know, like your shots look really pretty. So I definitely think you will become a good compositor. You just have to start getting those shots in. And if you don't have access to green screens, or if you don't have access to real compositing shots, maybe consider, you know, buying an online course. Maybe consider buying some plates. You know, maybe, sorry. Or maybe consider renting a camera with some friends and maybe shoot some plates, you know. I think that would help a lot to build your showreel. Anyway, we're going to kind of start wrapping up, because we're already 8:20, so I need to kind of wrap up. Like I said to you many times, I don't want these streams to be much longer than 2 hours. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. I know I didn't play much. So I didn't play as much Silent Hill as I thought I was going to play Silent Hill. But I already was expecting this. You know, it's the first stream that I return. We had a lot to talk about. So, you know, I was expecting this to happen. I hope you've enjoyed this stream. I'm going to just wrap up with the last question I have here. So I have a question from Lupolo _ that says, do you use deep format sometimes? I never did, just for the tests. Yes, I do. So I do use deep compositing for all my last projects. All my latest projects were done in deep compositing. Oh, thank you so much, Rams, for the subscription tier 1. Much appreciated. Really, really thank you so much for doing that. Can't thank you enough for being a subscriber. Thank you so much. So, like I was saying, I do use, whenever I can, I use deep compositing. Deep compositing is very heavy, and I use it. The last production I used deep compositing was a project that I did for Vermintide. So basically, Lupolo. So I'm gonna just like tag you here, so you get the message. And so if you put this message here, so Lupolo, if you watch that video, which is this video here. So this is a video I made for BenQ a couple of weeks ago, and this is basically a deep compositing workshop. Okay, so if you go in here, you can see that on this video, which is called "You Just Have to Be Better at Deep Compositing," it was a BenQ workshop. It was sponsored by BenQ. You can see here that you have what is deep compositing. How should you use deep compositing? It goes through the nodes of deep compositing. It uses the pipeline of deep compositing. So it goes through all these topics. And I basically showcase a shot from the Vermintide trailer that I did in deep compositing. So maybe look at that video. Maybe it can help you with that. So yeah. So that's the last question. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for I really missed you guys. Really missed being here. Really missed talking to all of you. I can't be this long without a stream, because I really missed talking to you guys. So thank you so much for everything. So don't forget, Thursday we have the rest of the Nuke workshop. Bring your questions. Come by, because I love your company. And I hope to see you on Thursday. So let's all, of course, give a round of applause to Linny, Lock to Linny. So as usual, Lock to Linny was the moderator of today's session. So thank you so much, Lock to Linny, because you are amazing. Thank you so much for helping me to moderate the whole thing. And basically, Lock to Linny has spent the whole day, the whole stream here, posting the questions on a separate stream so that I can actually read them and I didn't get lose track of it. So let's all thank Log2Linny for the amazing help that she gives me on every stream. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, I did miss you all as well. So Log2Linny, you're saying that you missed me. I did miss you all a lot as well. So thank you so much for being here today. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave you guys with a lovely song, as I usually do. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on Thursday. Don't forget, Thursday at 6 o'clock UK time, we're gonna continue with the BBC God Only Knows shot, the compositing workshop we were doing. So I'll hope to see you, and hope you have a great week, and hope you have a great day as well. I'll see you all very soon, and goodbye for now. Just put the song here.